Hey guys, today is Thursday, May 30th, and I figured I would just take a little short video, or at least do part of the video right now. I was actually just out for a run. Something I had noticed was, oh boy, that's a good look. Let's put the hat back on. I just went for a run, jog, walk kind of thing because I've got a bad knee and I'm supposed to be doing physical therapy for it. But I noticed that after walking and running for a little bit that I actually wasn't having asthma problems anymore. I still brought my inhaler because I didn't want to get complacent, but that's looking like a really good improvement. I think I'm 48 days on T now. I'll probably finish this a little bit later on though. Bye guys. Okay, so I guess by later I meant today, or in the case of yesterday I meant tomorrow? Yes, time, it's a thing. Like I said yesterday, I was 48 days on T. I did my 8th shot today, which makes me effectively 49 days on T. Changes. To some extent, my voice, I guess, since I haven't made a video in a while, my voice is definitely lower than where it was at in my last video. It's definitely leveling out a little bit more. It cracks a little bit less, but I know that I'm just the beginning stages of the voice change, so I'm not super bothered. I think my voice is definitely passing, so once again, I'm not going to worry as long as I'm passing. I've definitely noticed a change in my asthma, which is nice. I went for a run yesterday, which you can see in the video that's probably at the start. I'm loosely calling it a run. I don't know if I'm particularly capable of running, but it was physical activity. Yay. I managed to run for about a quarter of a mile before I think my knee actually started bothering before my breathing did, but baby steps. Really, at this point, I'm going to be happy with any improvement. I'm just trying to make some positive life changes. Though it's really hard because there are dinosaur chicken nuggets in the freezer right now. Though protein is good for you, and dinosaur chicken nuggets are definitely protein. Once again, the mustache is kind of coming in. It's definitely getting to the point where I have to shave or else it gets kind of noticeable. I want to discuss my moods because that's actually something I'm most impressed with. Once again, anyone who knew me before kind of knew that I'm really prone to anxiety and temper tantrums and really this whole pile of like depressive, antisocial, bad behavior. I don't know if tea necessarily fixed that, and I don't think tea is a wonder drug, but I definitely think that tea helped my mental state, and I think I'm definitely in a much better place. I think I feel more like myself. I've especially had people comment that they say that I seem much happier and much more myself and much more at ease, and I'm glad that that's showing through because it was something that I was feeling, but I wasn't sure if other people were feeling it, so I'm glad it's like an air of confidence that I'm exuding. I do genuinely feel really good about where I'm at in my transition. There are always going to be things to improve on, really like top surgery, but I think ultimately my life can't be about my transition all the time. I want to do things like move out of my parents' house. I want to get a better job. I want to do all these things that aren't related to how much I hate my body sometimes. I think my dysphoria is probably the same, but I'm definitely like losing weight in my chest, and that's still helping too. It's much easier to bind, and I'm noticing like instead of looking like I'm binding my chest, it just looks like I have like poorly defined pectoral muscles, which I can live with. It means it's something I can change. It means it's something I can work on. It means there's always room for improvement, and I'm definitely enjoying improving myself. Yeah, I want to discuss the whole stealth angle. Obviously I'm not stealth. I make these videos and I had to come out to my friends and my family, and I'm almost 24 years old, so it's hard to go stealth at this point in my life. I'm not like someone who came out at 13, or I'm not someone who came out in high school. There are people who know me. I was at Anime Boston last weekend. For the most part, I don't think anybody knew I was trans. I passed with the security guards. I passed with people taking our picture. I'd kind of gotten used to not passing. I had gotten used to being in this gray space where people don't know what I am, and it was nice to be in a place where I was seen undoubtedly as male. I especially know that's a problem in the cosplay community because of how prevalent crossplaying is, and I was, to some degree, really concerned that someone would see me and be like, oh, that's not a boy, and it was gonna ruin my day. Especially since I'm still in the process of legally changing my name, so all of my documents are still in my birth name. I did have an incident with that with the bus driver where I was passing 100% with him, and then I had to present my ID, And it got really awkward, and I wanted to reduce the incidences of that happening, so I did email the badge registration people at AMA Boston, and they were really good about it. Once again, if they knew I was trans, they gave no indication. The guy took my ID and told me, hey, have a good convention, man, and it's something as simple as somebody just validating in such a stupid way that I was really good. I met all these people I'd never met before, and I didn't have to explain to them that I was trans. I could just exist, and whether they knew or not, they didn't say anything, and it was nice that whether they knew, it was just an incidental part of me. It was no different than the fact I have blue eyes. It was something they were regarding and throwing away. I'm in a very conflicted place because I'd still like to act in visibility and do outreach and work with youth groups and be an educator to the community. But there are definitely parts of my life that I do really want to be stealth in, and this weekend reminded me that there's no shame in being stealth. There's no shame in just living your life like a person. Not to knock either side. There's nothing wrong with being 100% stealth, and there's nothing wrong with being 100% out. But I'm liking finding this balance between where I can be out and where I can be stealth. Hopefully I have some more experiences with those as I go on, but this small experience in being stealth and passing as cis male was really, it was what I needed after having a really rough time with people getting pronouns wrong and misgendering me more lately, and not being 100% out at work. Also, I just kind of want to mention how good my friends were at the con. Everyone was actually really good. I know it's an adjustment, and people are still getting used to saying things like he, or regarding me as male. I don't know. It's just like the little tiny things that I'm starting to appreciate. I don't take for granted how difficult it is sometimes to adjust. Tumblr logic about transition is that you should respect somebody's pronouns or respect somebody's gender or respect, but it's so much easier to respect somebody's pronouns and transition if you've never met them. My friends had to delete this person, and depending on how long I'd known them, how much are they deleting? My friend Andy did point out something that prior to transition, everyone had kind of viewed me as this, like, genderless person. I don't take offense to it. I can't be bothered that prior to transitioning to where I'm at, or prior to this process, people didn't really see me as female, which is, once again, kind of an ego boost, because I, in a lot of ways, didn't want to have to reconcile my past. It's nice to know that people were kind of anticipating this, and that everyone seems to be happier for me as a result. I'm just gonna keep adding things to this video as I remember them. I'm a little bit scattered today. Since I haven't made a video in a little bit about, like, transition-based things, I forgot that I actually got the results from my blood test back. I went to the endocrinologist about 2 weeks ago now, I think. I can't remember. I think it was May 16th, so today is the 31st, so let's just say it was 2 weeks ago. I'm really good at time. I got my testosterone levels checked. Each place has a different range where they'd like you to be at. I believe the number they want you to be between is like 260 and 1080. I'm sure everyone's heard something different. I've heard 230 to 1340, so my pre-T testosterone levels were already pretty high. I was at 92 NGDL, and at 5 weeks on T, my blood test came back at like 958 NGDL, 952. Somewhere in the 950 range is where my T levels are at, which was kind of a boost. It means that I don't have to change my dosage. It's nice to know that I'm residing in a normal male range with testosterone. I was expecting it to take a little bit longer, but they told me that since I started with a higher pre-T amount of testosterone, that I'd have a little bit of a jump start, so as you can see, I'm a little too pleased about this. I have another endocrinologist appointment on June 20th, so hopefully I can update where my blood test results are then. Also, I'm thinking of emailing a couple of the top surgeons that I'm looking at and seeing if they take my insurance. I just kind of want to get the ball rolling at this point in time. Want to see realistically how much I have to save up for. I'm either looking at Melissa Johnson in Springfield or Paul Costas, who's in Concord, Mass. I hear wonderful things about Gary Money, but I'm really never going to have the money or ability to take too much time off of work to travel to Florida. My hope is that if I'm still working at my current job when I do get top surgery, that I can just switch work centers to a less physically demanding job while I'm recovering. Also, I found my fun box of bandages. Yay, it's Buzz Lightyear! Also, this is completely unrelated to tea and transition related things, but my birthday is in a week, so I'm going to be turning 24. You'll probably get some kind of ridiculous video update then, because my 24th birthday will be 8 weeks on tea, my 9th shot, so I'm sure there'll be some kind of silly Great Gatsby cake, or some weird silly hats, or even just impressive drunkenness with my parents. If you are interested, keep an eye out for my 24th/1st birthday /8 weeks on tea video, because it'll be a little bit more exciting than watch me prance around during the New Hampshire heat wave in my kitchen and my pajama shorts. I'm just gonna keep adding things. I forgot that, depending on how my work schedule is looking next week, I believe my mom and I are gonna drive out to the court in Nashua, New Hampshire, and file the name change paperwork, which is kind of exciting. I mean, it's obviously not going to do anything immediately. We have to wait for a court date, but fingers crossed that before the summer is up, my name change is legal and I have a new picture on my ID, and that no one will notice the F on my license, and they'll just see that my name is male, and then I can start going on with different facets of my life, and hopefully that was the last little bit on the video. One last part, I promise. In the next couple days, I'm actually going to be making an audition video for FDM Transtastic. I've watched their channel since before I actually started my social/physical/any facet of my transition. I used to watch the FDM Transtastic guys when I was still just questioning. And it would be kind of fun to be a part of that, so hopefully this weekend I'm going to work on that a little bit, and if anyone has any suggestions for something I can do to make it more exciting other than dance, which obviously I'm going to do, can you please leave some comments in the doobly-doo for me? Because that'd be much appreciated. Okay, bye YouTube!